Hey everyone, welcome back to the AutoFlux Games 2022. This is Automation, and this is going to be the fifth car in the series. This is the final one of the series, so get hyped. I hope it turns out good. I have a plan for these videos, and I kind of think about what I want to do, but I don't plan them out entirely because it's more fun for me to kind of just jump into it and do things. But there is some stuff that I have planned out quite thoroughly. And I should probably explain that now. On my Discord, in the new video discussion channel, there is going to be a post there that you're going to want to see because I'm going to post the files for all of these cars, both the BeamNG ones on a Google Drive link and the automation files as well. And I've got a bit of a challenge for you, which we're going to talk about in a bit. First thing that I want to say though is thank you for the support on this series. These videos have actually been doing very well, which is surprising. This is the first AutoFlux Games that I've found to be successful views-wise and sort of in line with where I usually am, so that's really exciting to see. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying this series. The rest of the videos, if you've only seen one or two, are in the playlist that's going to be in the description and also in the pinned comment, so check those out, watch the entire series and let me know what you think of it. And if you like this stuff, be sure to subscribe and like this video for more content like this. And now that we're done with the pleasantries, let's check out the previous contenders. The first vehicle is the Snakebite Taser. It's a lowrider, it's not very powerful, but it's going to be an interesting sort of all-around contender, I think. It's about as low as it can possibly get. Next on the list we have a Mustang that I'm calling the Red Rocket Shoestring, but it's a front-wheel drive, 2,200 horsepower. I think it's a V8, 9.7 liter V8. You know, we have a lot of V8s in this showcase, but it's kind of a good thing. I'm excited to see how this car does in these challenges, but it's a bit of a ripper. Up next we have the Hugo, which a lot of people seem to complain about because of its obvious shortcomings, but that's kind of the point. The French version of the Hugo is here. It's not red, it's blue, and that's pretty much the only difference other than a few styling choices. And it does have 23 horsepower out of an engine that can't really do much, so kind of exciting to see how this one's going to do in the contest. Probably not very good. And the last car here, well, second last I should say, is the Ferrari Magic 302, which has 50 horsepower out of a nearly 11 liter V8. Because I like having massive engines with no power. It's the 70s all over again, except in the 90s and in a Ferrari body. This one's gonna rip pretty hard though. Check out the last video if you want to see it being made. Wow, that was a long intro, but it's time that we got into the new car number 5. And now this one is going to be quite specific. I'm going to try to make a new delivery van for Amazon to rival the Rivian one. You know, they seem to be getting different electric cars here and there, but I'm going to make something that's a lot more practical for what Amazon actually does. I just got to find the right body for it. You know what? These things are actually quite unique. They're very van-like, so this is going to be good, I think. We're going to try and make it as long as possible to try and fit in as many boxes as possible. I was thinking of potentially going for one of these because they're 3.4 meters, but let's just say that this is a local delivery van. Oh yes, it's gonna be big. It's almost a car actually, but Australian version. There we go. Okay, so let's try and go semi-realistic maybe, monocoque chassis and just like the basic cheap stuff with a transverse V8, not V8 this time actually, in the front, maybe a V6. Let's try and mix it up a little bit. And I'm gonna give it leaf springs in the back with double wishbones on the front. That should be decent for what we're working with here. Quality and stuff, just 50-50, nothing too crazy. Let's go for a 90-degree cast V6, and it's gonna be transverse, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna go front wheel. Ooh, actually, would you look at that? Now it can do rear wheel drive. It's almost like I put it longitudinal or something. So I've just gone for a 3-liter sort of heavy cast component engine. Nothing too crazy. I think I'm gonna give it VVT but not VVL, and then no turbos or anything crazy like that. We don't want it to be too complicated. It's kind of just got to be simple. As simple as we can get. Well, that is not simple at all. What the heck? Okay, there we go. You know, this one actually makes it look like an LS engine. Obviously, it's a V6, but I'm gonna go with that. A little bit different. I hardly ever go single, so let's do it. Okay, the cheapest one possible, because Amazon is fairly, not just fairly, they are extremely cheap with their stuff. So the thing makes right out of the gate 158.5 horsepower, 236 newton meters of torque. I anticipate that this is going to be quite a heavy vehicle, so we're going to need to gear it in a way that makes sense, basically giving it the most possible gears that we can, but we're having issues with high RPM killing things. Keep in mind this is only a 3-liter, it's not particularly large. So it's dropped down to all cast components just because the heavy duty stuff lowers our RPM limit quite significantly. So we're down to 66 here, or I should say up, but that's not going to do much because yeah, we have a little bit more power to gain. As you can see, we still can go all the way out to about 7,000 RPM, so I'm gonna have to increase it. Unfortunately, sorry buddy, and buddy in this case is Amazon, to forge components. A little bit more expensive, but in the end it's gonna make it more reliable, which is good. So this thing is kind of limping along at 160 horsepower. That's really not much. Not saying it needs much though. Exhaust is very restrictive. Let's see what we can do about increasing that. Oh yeah, no, that is a lot more power. And now our headers are restrictive, but I'm not going to increase those, so that's 184. Let me see if I can get a little bit more out of this. Okay, that's where it's going to stay, 200 horses, not trying to max this thing out by any means. Just wanted to make something that is a little bit more powerful than what it was at. 200 horsepower is perfect for what we're going to use it for. So yeah, this thing starts off as a car, and then it slowly increases in size and becomes potentially even a pickup truck, which is... I mean, it's a ute, I guess, so makes sense. This is not really what I was thinking when I originally planned this video, but I have some ideas, and let's see if we can make them work with the body morphing. First thing I'm going to do is increase the length. As I said, the packages need to fit. This is one ugly wagon, basically, is what we're making. You know, it's a bit of a hearse, actually, a hearse for the environment. Oh, wow, you can put fat wheel wells on this thing. Oh, that is so weird. I'm keeping it, though. I'm keeping it. So I've created a new color that I'm calling Amazon Brown, and it's basically just brown, but in an Amazon variety, question mark? It's, yeah, a custom sort of purplish color I made, but it's going to work perfectly for this. The most difficult part of this whole thing is going to be putting the label on the side of it, so we'll get there when we get there. First thing, though, I'm going to color up this trim, color up these wheels, and yeah, let's keep it up. Okay, so while I'm designing this, it's time that I told you about the reason that I'm posting these cars up on the Discord. There'll be a little bit of a description there too, just because I want to make sure that everybody knows, even if you didn't make it this far into the video. But the basic gist of it is that part of my little thing here is going to be, well, guest designers. And I say that and I'm worried at the same time, but basically I'm giving you access to my cars. They were made in the open beta, by the way, so you're going to need to have a legit version of the game and also have the open beta, but they were made without mods. And I think that that's sort of the important thing here, is that there were no mods involved in that, so you don't have to have anything from the library. You can use whatever you want, and I'm not going to take files this time. I'm actually just going to take pictures. There'll be a specific channel for it. I haven't made it yet, so just be sure to read that description when you get in there. It'll be pinned in new channel or new video discussion. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of pictures and stuff being posted, but you'll have quite a bit of time to do it, and I'm going to mention it in every one of the games videos as well. So it's going to be like the 4th or 5th event, a little bit of a showcase there, something like that. So yeah, you've got time, no worries, but yeah, you can just make whatever you want using my cars and then post a picture of it, and then I'll take a look at it on one of these videos. So it's going to be good. What I might do as well, and this kind of depends on a lot of things, but I'm going to sprinkle some of them into the games, a little bit of a showcase at the beginning perhaps. So yeah, get ready for that. It's going to be fun. So you may have just noticed that I skipped past the fixtures. This is just a temporary thing. I wasn't actually intending to do that, but then I was like, wait a minute, I should probably try and make this actually work first before I get too far into this, because I always forget to do that. But the spacing on this is going to be pretty important. We're going to need to have pretty close ratios, I think, because if we don't, it's not really going to move very much, because I do suspect this thing is going to be quite heavy because I have a couple ideas for it. And this is where things take a turn for the not so realistic, because I'm going to give it a manual locker. You're probably wondering what the heck is going on with chunky off-road tires on there, also them being the biggest that they can possibly be, but you'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, let's go bigger. 900, boys. This is a real truck now. And yes, those are 17-inch rims. Let's see if I can put them out just a touch. Not really, but that's pretty beefy. The engine's in there, it's looking interesting. The exhaust is massive compared to the one that it shows. Holy. But anyway, that's kind of fun. My plan for this, and I should probably reveal this now, is actually just to make this thing into a monster truck, because I don't see why not. Like, we may as well just go to the advanced settings, scroll on down, and just, like, do something. i.e. increase the wheel width up to 50, the wheel offset even more, the wheel diameter, actually that's not the right wheel diameter, because we can go to the tire diameter and increase the size of that too. That's really what I'm here for, is just the thickest lads we can get on here. And wow, that is a lot. That is actually really cool. I'm gonna give it a significant curve as well. Okay, maybe not that much. Now, the obvious and very important part of this is to increase the ride height significantly to match the ride height of the wheels that we've just done. And yeah, I don't want to go too much higher. We want it to be a relatively stable monster truck, but yeah, this is going to be a monster truck. So there are quite a few fun things we can do here, and this is going to break the game quite significantly. We can increase the body Z offset, so we could actually have this thing like deep into itself, which is fun. I'm just going to put it up just a tiny bit. Actually, maybe I'll put it down. And the most important part of this is the track width, which is now ginormous. And this is actually getting better and better by the millisecond. I've never made a full-on monster truck in this, and now I can say that I have. Also, wheelbase offset if we want. Oh no, let's go back with that. Limo. Okay, so a couple tweaks later and the thing is massive, and also we haven't even finished like the brakes and stuff yet, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen next. I'm just gonna fly through this and we'll see how much taller it gets. Yeah, it looks pretty jank right now. Okay, excellent news. It still looks just as ridiculous, and I haven't done really that much to it, so let's put some more stuff on it and make it look more Amazon-y. This has barely anything to do with Amazon. Let's just say they're delivering packages in Texas. Yeah, that's where they need to have a vehicle like this. I've just kind of realized that it looks more like a Ford Explorer than anything else. So yeah, I guess it's Amazon's new delivery SUV. There you go. Okay, so it's been a few minutes and the front end of the car is kind of sorted out a little bit. We got wipers, we got stuff. That's pretty much it. I put some door handles on it because I assume that they're going to want to try to get in, although this thing is massive, so maybe that's a bad idea. Yeah, again, we dropped the realism as soon as we brought out the monster truck tires, so it's just going wherever the heck it wants to go now. I have no clue. So yeah, let's maybe try and put a logo on the side of it. That's kind of important. I've got nothing that even remotely resembles what we need, so I'm just gonna have to fake it in there somehow. Thank goodness for typable things, because I don't want to have to write this out on both sides, because inverting it is not going to work out well for me. That is hideous. Oh, never mind, we're good. Wait, what the? Oh, no way, they actually work out properly if you mirror them now. You know, I'm a little bit out of the loop, apparently, when it comes to automation stuff, because I had no idea that was even a thing, but that is great and makes things a lot easier. I'm putting Amazon Prime on the back as well, because that makes sense to me. But yeah, this is kind of all the wrong colors and everything. It's just white on brown. It's not working at all. This is the most ghetto vehicle I've ever made in my life. Let me put some taillights on it, and then maybe we'll just jump into BeamNG. Actually, maybe I'll put an interior first, and maybe I'll tune it as well. Oh man, so much work. It's worth it though. This thing is worth it. So it has kind of super modern looking headlights, but the tail lights, I have no clue. I was gonna put some retro stuff on there, but it doesn't really make sense. But does it have to make sense though? Because I mean, they're out here making dollars, man. They don't need those cents. Come on now. Let me just put some bejeweled things in there. Oh, that's horrible. Oh man, this is bad. Yep, that's perfect. Yep, that's good. And the most hideous car in the games award goes to this thing. Okay, I'm gonna quickly smash an interior into here. It's gonna be real fast. Literally just the most generic seats that I can think of. And then, yeah, I'm really eager to try this out in BeamNG. That's honestly what I care about for this thing the most, because it being a gigantic monster truck is either going to be a disaster or a disaster, and I'm very excited for both possible outcomes. Okay, so the monster thing is finished, kind of. Let's move on to the drivetrain stuff. It is still rear-wheel drive, which is probably a mistake. You know what, let's make it 4x4. The only 4x4 in the challenge, because I feel like that's kind of fun. It says it can do 236, but it's actually only able to do 198, which is interesting. Probably because the wheels on it are absolutely massive. Seems like wheel spin's a tiny issue, but I'm not too concerned about it. Again, it hardly has any power. It is an automatic as well, which is funny, but I'm just, you know what, let's just move on. It's probably fine. See, the tires are as big as we can get them. There's no point in messing with those anyway, because it's kind of a disaster. Sportiness doesn't matter. Drivability, actually not bad. Brakes, I think they're actually they're perfect. I just guessed completely on that, but that's going to be fine. I might even, you know, it hardly has any warnings too. Oh my goodness. I just gave it an off-road skid tray underneath, and aerodynamics basically nothing, and obviously the interior is super basic. No safety or anything. Well, it has safety, but it doesn't have anything crazy, just normal stuff. Suspension, as you saw, and it weighs 2,220 kilos. That's not much. 200 horsepower. Yeah, it's actually not too bad for what it is. I'm very excited to try this, so let's go. Alright, so this is the Amazon Prime Monster Mash edition, right next to a normal Hugo, so let's run the thing over. Actually, that's a Hugo, so we're going to run it over with finesse. Kick it into drive and make sure this thing actually does drive. Actually not bad. It's a little bit bouncy, as you may anticipate. Wow, the wheels are freaking out. This V6 actually screams pretty hard, considering I choked it out with some pretty tiny exhaust, and also full mufflers as well, but not bad actually, not bad at all. Let's run right into that Hugo, and then let's try out some real off-road challenges with this thing. You know, it might actually be reasonably capable. That is gone. I should have done that in slow motion. Hold on a minute. Here we go, and oh, absolute devastation. That is what I like to see. Yeah, this is what the Monster Mash thing was made for, basically running over cars as, well, a pastime. And in fact, a very comforting pastime. That was a lot of fun. Now we're dragging a seat around. So I gotta say, this is the absolute ugliest car that I've made for this challenge, and it's also the lowest effort one, so it's very fitting that it would be in the video where I tell you that I'm posting these for you to fix. And maybe not necessarily fix. I think the Hugo is an example of a car that is absolutely perfect, but if you think you can improve it in some way, then absolutely download it. Make sure you're in the open beta. No mods needed, just go ahead, download that thing, and make me something that you think is better or worse or whatever the heck you want to do. There's no prize or anything for the winner. I'm just going to show off some of the cars that I like, and maybe we'll just go down the Discord list of everything together. So it's going to be fun, and be sure to do that. More participation makes it more fun, but that's okay. This thing definitely needs some help, and I think it might need your help. That's all I'm saying. So while we're here, we're driving the ugly turd car, I think it's time that I did some sort of monster trucking activities, because it's, well, I don't know, we may as well do something with this thing. It's pretty darn tall, it's pretty darn massive. I think it needs to be shown off in some way. The V6 is a weird one. This is the kind of thing that could really have used like the massive V8 because torque, but I do feel like it's a reasonable contender, especially in terms of speed, and any sort of driving dynamic is ruined by its big wheels, but it's got a lot of like cushiness that'll keep it durable. I'm not saying this properly, but it should be decent in some of the contests we get into, starting next week, of course. So I am absolutely flooring it right now, and we're clearing 180 kilometers an hour. Seems like it maxes out about where it said it would, somewhere around 200-ish with huge wheels, so not bad at all actually. And even after that huge collision, the engine is still functional. Okay, let's run over some obstacles. So I specifically came here to the off-road park because I wanted to see what this thing would do on some of the suspension tests. I mean, we ran over some of this stuff before, especially with the articulating frame, if you remember that. That was a pretty cool mod. This thing is so tall that it kind of just could float over this kind of thing. As you can see, the suspension actually does work out pretty well, although it's way too bouncy to be any kind of, like, well, stable. If I tried to rip it over these, I'm going to be bouncing all over the place, is basically what I'm trying to say. Not ideal. Small little bumps like this basically do nothing to this car other than activate the traction control, which should probably just turn that completely off at this point. I don't think it actually needs it. Doing a burnout with this seems like it would be a very difficult task. And I'm actually going to put it into rear wheel drive as well, just so we can get a little bit extra speed out of it if possible. Man, those backlights on there bother me so much. They're so awful. If you fix anything on this car, be sure to fix the backlights, please. Those are in need of some help, to say the least. Okay, so we don't really fit on the off-road strip here, mostly because this thing is wide as heck, but it does bounce around like mad. I wonder what kind of... Oh, you know what? It might actually get up there pretty well. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I think at low range, we could probably scale this. So I locked the front and rear diff. I've got it in low range, and it's in four-wheel drive. I'm just going to go ahead and... actually, we can go up into a lower gear here, too. Oh, no way. It's got grip for days, and then the front end lifted off there. No way. This is actually good. Come on. Come on. Oh, so darn close. Yeah, this thing has a ton of grip. I'm going to try it in 2 to see if that makes any sort of difference. Oh, wow, I'm way off. Oh, I'm so far off. Hold on a minute. Yeah, now it's doing Monster Jam things. I guess that's kind of the point. Let's give it a go, see if we can't just get up the mud. Come on. And... oh, it's slipping. Okay. I tried. You know, because this thing has such huge wheels, it does have a unique characteristic, and that is that it kind of floats, which is cool. I'm not sure that's entirely intentional, but it does work out nicely for me, so I can't complain. Let me just drive in the deep end and show you. Just like this. Oh, never mind. Well, completely proven myself wrong here. There we go. Now you can see what I mean. It's not floating. It's really close to floating though. Come on now. Well, with that, I just want to thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed despite the ugliness of this car. It gives you a chance to improve it. If I make it perfect, then there's no room for improvement. That's my excuse. But anyways, seriously though, go check it out on the Discord. This stuff will be up there now, and I'll see you again next week for some more coolness. We're going to be getting into the actual games part of the games, which is fun. It's going to be 5, maybe 6 or 7 weeks, depending on how the challenges go. And it's going to be a lot of work for me, but it's going to be hopefully a lot of fun for you. So yeah, I'm hoping you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you again then, right after we take on some very simple looking moguls that are actually quite tricky. Wow, those things are almost as tall as the car, and smash into something, because that's what I do best. Man, everything about this Amazon truck is lame. I tried. Just want to give a quick shout out to those who have chosen to support this channel. If you want to join these people, make sure to hit the join button. It's $5 a month if you want to be advanced. I think $2 if you want to be a supporter, but I appreciate it either way. The advanced members get their names said aloud every single automation video. So we have Overlord, QT Bear, Terry, 01 now, J Pope, Davis Heister, the German Dude, Sleep64, Sinlab, Jared Grigg, Goofy Plays, Badger, and Phoenix Shark. Thank you guys for your support. I appreciate all of you a lot, and I'll see you again next time.